while Avengers Endgame didn't officially bring back the fan favorite God of Mischief, it may have just opened up a brand new avenue to explore for that character. Thanks to a new interview with the Russo Brothers, they went in depth in spoilers and talked a lot about what happened in Endgame and how different moments will actually set up future events, and of course they had to address that big moment with Loki. So during the events of Endgame, when the Avengers decide to go back in time, get the Infinity Stones from the past and bring them back to their reality, basically what happens is that at one point they go back to 2012 to the Battle of New York, because at that moment there would have been 3 Infinity Stones in New York, one of them being the Space Stone, which Loki obviously had when he brought down the Chitauri. But things don't go as planned when the Avengers finally catch up to Loki and try to take the Tesseract back. Basically they get stopped by Alexander Pierce and what they think at the time was S.H.I.E.L.D., but it actually turned out to be Hydra agents, and things go completely wrong from there, and the God of Mischief escapes once again with the Tesseract. Many fans were scratching their heads at this scene because it meant that when they went back in time to get the Tesseract from another point, Loki still had it in the future and he was still out there, possibly in a new branched timeline. The Russo brothers have finally cleared this up by saying Loki, when he teleports away, would create his own timeline. It gets very complicated, but it would be impossible for Cap to rectify the timeline unless he found Loki. The minute that Loki does something as dramatic as take the Space Stone, he creates a branched reality. We're dealing with this idea of multiverses and branched realities, so there are many realities. As we just saw in the second trailer for Spider-Man Far From Home, the MCU is officially Earth 616 as designated in the entire multiverse, and Mysterio came from a whole other world. Basically what the Russo brothers have been talking about ever since Endgame came out, and the idea of going back in time, pulling the stones out and bringing them to the future would create branched or alternate realities, and it's also something that the Ancient One explained during the events of the film. If an Infinity Stone is taken from an exact moment in time, the timeline would go in a completely different direction, creating a new timeline. So it's possible that the Loki series coming to Disney Plus will follow the God of Mischief's adventures, as he does set out to explore with the Space Stone in that branched timeline. But what are your guys' thoughts on this? Where do you think Loki went when he got his hands on the Space Stone, and how excited are you to find out if this is what's going to be the plot of the Disney Plus series? There have been tons of rumors about this whole Disney Plus show centered around Loki. At first there were rumors that it was just going to be a young Loki thing and that Tom Hiddleston would simply narrate, but then we started to hear more about the idea that it could be Loki kind of tampering with major historic events throughout history, which could make sense if he does have the Space Stone. Post your thoughts down in the usual spot, and for more updates on the Loki Disney Plus show, Avengers Endgame, and everything at Marvel and pop culture, be sure to subscribe to HN Entertainment.